TikTok rolls out its advertising tool Promote to all users worldwide. This is a tool that helps you boost TikTok videos. Facebook celebrates 10 years of Facebook Messenger by releasing new features. YouTube opens a 6,000-seater live event venue called YouTube Theater in California with built-in technology and live streaming capabilities. All this and much more coming up in this week's edition of the Connected Church News. Welcome, I am Nachi Lazarus, and this is the show that brings you the top 5 digital and social media news each week in just 5 minutes. Let's get started. Our first big news is from Instagram. Last week, Instagram chief released details about how Instagram search works. Have you ever wondered how things show up when you search for something on Instagram? Now you can get a little glimpse into how the algorithm works. He talks about 3 things that the algorithm considers while throwing up search results. One is the text that you use for searching, the keywords. The second is your activity. This is where it gets interesting. So Instagram says it's not just about the keyword, it's also about what you have been doing on the platform. The events that you've been following, the people that you've been following, the hashtags that you've been following, and so on. And the third thing is information about the search results, how popular it is, and so on. So these are the 3 things that he talks about. And also he gives some tips on how to make yourself show up in search results. Your brand or your Instagram handle or the content show up on search results. First is use a fitting handle and profile name, he says. So it's very important for you to think about your name and your handle on Instagram. Number 2 is include relevant keywords in the locations of your bio. Inside the bio, have relevant keywords. And also third is have relevant keywords and hashtags in the captions. So think about the captions, the bio, and your name on Instagram. Our next news is from Clubhouse. Last week, Clubhouse released a resource hub called Creator Commons. This is a hub that has all details about how Clubhouse works. So if you are new to Clubhouse or if you have been trying to figure out Clubhouse for your nonprofit or ministry, then this is a hub that you might want to go and have a look at, because it's got details about all things Clubhouse, like Clubhouse 101, how to do hosting, moderation, what tools and technologies you need to use, even how to plan and produce your shows. It has education and it has all sorts of resources about Clubhouse. Our next big news is from YouTube. Last week, YouTube announced the opening of YouTube Theater. This is a 6,000-seat live event venue. Yes, it's an auditorium that is not only a physical space, but interestingly, YouTube says that this would have the capability to blend the physical and the digital together in a new and exciting ways. And in fact, if you YouTube says the moment you get in, you have motion sensors and digital screens that actually respond and interact with you based on motion and so on. It also has live streaming capabilities, which actually ties into YouTube's vision of being the media channel or the television channel of the digital world. Our next news is about Messenger. Last week, Facebook Messenger celebrated 10-year birthday. So it's a big moment, and they celebrated it by releasing new features. Now, 3 things I want you to note from this news item. One is that the fact that it has been 10 years of Messenger, so this space is really maturing. The private media space is starting to mature with WhatsApp and Messenger and Signal and all these big players bringing their expertise to making the conversation smoother. The second and third thing that I want you to note are actually the features, out of the features that they released. They released many features, and 2 things stood out to me. One is Facebook bringing in Facebook Pay into Messenger. So one of the features is about using Facebook Pay to interact and bring financial transactions into Messenger, which is a very interesting trend to note. The last thing is about this new feature called word effects. So what they're doing is they are tying up certain emojis to certain words. So for example, they say if you type the word happy birthday and then you send, then there will be this effect, word effect of emojis flying on the screen. Our final news of this week is a collection of advertising resources released by TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter. 3 important resources. You definitely want to pass this on to your advertising team or your social media team in your ministry. First is TikTok allowing people all over the world, all users, all accounts, to use their ads tool called Promote, which helps you boost TikTok videos. You know how big TikTok is, and having the capability to boost your videos and reach more people could be crucial. So check that out. Number 2, LinkedIn releases a new guide for organic and paid strategies, both organic and paid strategies. So it's a pretty important guide that really lays out some very interesting statistics on how you can use LinkedIn for reaching your audience. Number 3 is Twitter coming up with its own advertising checklist. Last week we talked about Twitter releasing this resource called Agency Playbook. Now, as extension of that, they are coming up with one-page checklists, which could be really handy. You can look at it one page and kind of tick things off when you release advertisements on Twitter. I'll link to all of this in the show notes. Do have a look. That's all I have for you this week. Thank you for joining me. You have any questions, if you have any feedback or anything that you want to communicate to us, please leave it in the comment section. We'll make sure we find the answers for you and get back to you in any way possible to help you and serve you. Thanks so much. If you also want to access the source links of all the news items that we talked about, including all those resources, advertising resources, and details about YouTube's 6,000 acre venue and all that, if you want details for that, we've got all the source links in the description section wherever you are listening to me. We also have those details in our news page, nachilazarus.com/news. Do have a look. I'll see you next week with another set of news items. Until then, you stay connected and stay blessed. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Bye-bye.